Alright, what's good, YouTube? It is your boy Devo back at it again with another Talking Hat video. Yes, we're going back to back to back to back. There's gonna be one more Talking Hat video that I'm gonna cover. It's gonna be posted on the next day. You'll see that soon enough. Your boy's live on Twitch. React to these videos. If you want to see more videos like this live, follow me on Twitch. Twitch TV/YosDevo. Enough for the yap. Today we got the most painful airplane deaths ever. I then again, we know about 9/11. I'm pretty sure they're not gonna cover that because everyone knows about it. So we're gonna see some stuff that we've never seen before. I don't know how bad it's gonna be. I know it's gonna be bad because you know how talking hat videos are. So let's see how it goes. Enough of the yap. Let's get right into it, y'all.
The 20-minute incident. It was supposed to be
20
an ordinary
minutes.
flight from New York to Dallas. Instead, it turned into one of the most horrifying mid-air tragedies in US aviation history. On April 17, 2018, a woman would board a Boeing 737 carrying 149 people to take a trip back to her home in Albuquerque, New Mexico. On Southwest Airlines, passengers aren't assigned specific seats. They simply just band together in groups and pick any seat that's available. The only one left for the woman was a seat in row 14 on the left side of the plane next to a window. After making herself comfortable in her new spot, something unexpected would happen. After the plane took off, it spontaneously suffered a catastrophic engine failure at 32,000 feet. A fan blade broke loose, ripping through the engine casing and sending dangerous shrapnel into the plane's fuselage. One piece of debris struck a window, instantly blowing it out. And as you would guess, the window it struck would be none other than the woman's. In an instant, the 43-year-old mother of two was partially sucked out of the plane. The decompression was violent. Passengers scrambled in shock as the rushing wind pulled her torso outside, leaving her head and arms flailing violently into the sky. Desperate to save her, fellow passengers held onto her legs, trying to keep her body inside the plane with every ounce of their strength. Flight attendants fought chaos with calmness, urging everyone to remain seated while the crew prepared for an emergency descent. For 20 agonizing minutes, the cabin was a battleground between survival and disaster. Despite passengers' efforts, the vicious thrashing was too severe on the woman's body. By the time the crippled jet made its emergency landing in Philadelphia, she had passed away. Times like these revealed just how fragile safety can be at 30,000 feet in the air, and how a single shattered pane of glass can mean the difference between a peaceful ride to your destination and pure tragedy. The photo incident. It was a
Dang, 20 minutes pure agony. That is crazy, bro. That's crazy. R.I.P. to her, man. Rest in peace. That's, my God. And they trying so hard to save her, but that pressure was too much for her. Jesus.
Desperate escape. A young boy longed for adventure, for freedom beyond the confines of his home in Sydney, Australia. On February 21st, 1970, he slipped past security at the Sydney airport and crawled into the wheel well of a DC.
Oh, I feel like I know where this is gonna go. How no one seen him? Man, just slipped through security. Don't wait. Once you go up there, don't I think the wheels crush him, right? Or I feel like something else.
Jet
I think
that was headed for Tokyo. He thought he'd hidden himself safely away and that he was ready to be carried across the world. But stowaway flights carry a fatal flaw. Moments after takeoff, the landing gear began to retract. While the plane was flying, the wheel well doors opened and the boy was suddenly exposed to the rushing sky. With no warning, he tumbled out, plummeting 200 feet to the ground, with his body slamming into the earth as horrified witnesses looked on. In a tragic twist, a photographer testing out a new camera lens wanted to give the device.
Oh no, he caught the photo of the boy falling by accident. That's why it's called the photo incident. Oh no, so he took the picture of the boy while he was still falling, I think.
Try, he thought to himself, what's more breathtaking to photograph than a plane on the verge of takeoff? As he positioned himself and his new camera lens to take a photo of the plane flying, he would accidentally and unknowingly capture the boy's final fall.
Oh,
this incident would leave behind a tragic and haunting image of a body suspended midair.
Yo. Oh, Jesus. I wonder what he's thinking in his head when his son he fall from there, bro. Jesus Christ.
seconds before doom. His parents were devastated. Reports show that in response to him running away, they would travel with him overseas to satisfy his adventurous spirit. But even at that, he still kept running away, so they sent him to a boarding school to keep him grounded and protected. Nonetheless,
Wow.
the
So
boy
he's
still escaped.
notorious for this.
I won't lie, it's cases like these that kind of put a damper on my mood. And as much as I talk about physical health and its safety on this channel, mental health is just as important. And so I'm happy to
Facts.
thank today's sponsor, BetterHelp.
Hey, W sponsor. We're talking head W sponsor, but we're gonna.
Because you always are. The Blender. Airports are
Blender.
supposed to be gateways of excitement, the place where journeys begin. But for one man at the Milan Malpensa airport, the runway became a place of unimaginable shock. In July 2023, a 35-year-old ground worker and father of two would slip past security and break onto the
Bro, what's up with security? This is the second one. They just slipping through security.
runway. The man didn't have any tickets and wasn't a plane passenger of any sort, so staff and security alike would tackle him down to the ground.
Oh
However,
no, they
on
found
breaking free from their grasps, he would begin climbing onto the side of the Airbus. As the plane
Oh no, you're gonna get sucked through the turbines and get just shredded. Well, I feel like I heard this story before though.
began slowly powering up and got ready to take off, its sudden movement caused the man to fall off. Without a second to waste, the man would jump back up and run to the other side of the plane to climb on top of it again.
God.
However, as he was crossing the left side, the jet's ginormous engine would violently suck the man inside. A jet engine's blades are razor sharp and spin thousands of times per minute. Not to mention that the deeper you go inside of it, the hotter it gets. The man instantly was blended into a red mess. His remains were unrecognizable, and the only things that were assumed to be left behind were pieces of bone, tissue, and shredded clothing.
God dang.
Witnesses like the
Like not only he said it gets hotter inside when you go like deeper into it. So not only the man got shredded up into some cheese, the man got cooked as well. Jesus Christ.
aircraft marshal said the force was so sudden and violent that there was absolutely no chance of escape. He'd go on to say that one moment, as the marshal, he was guiding the plane into position. The next moment, he sees the powerful vacuum of the engine ripping a man from the ground and dragging his body into its spinning blades. The sound was deafening.
Bro, that must have been horrifying for that man too. I would take a break from my job for like a week if I seen that.
Passengers on board watched in shock, realizing what had just happened. Authorities later confirmed that the man passed away instantly.
Of course he passed away instantly. Shoot, that man got sucked in.
Colleagues described him as cheerful, hardworking, and devoted to his family. But his passing was a chilling reminder of the brutal physics at play in aviation. One simple
bruh.
misstep of being too close to an active engine can erase a life in seconds, or maybe even quicker. The Ghost
Crazy.
Plane Incident. On the morning of
Ghost
August
plane.
14th, 2005, what began as a routine flight from Cyprus to Athens turned into one of the eeriest tragedies in aviation history. A Boeing 737 carrying 121 people climbed into the skies. But just minutes after takeoff, something was terribly wrong. The cabin pressurization system had been left in manual mode during pre-flight checks. As the aircraft
What's that
ascended,
mean?
oxygen levels dropped. Slowly, everyone on board began to lose consciousness. Passengers slumped in their seats. The pilots collapsed at the controls. And as for the plane, it became eerily
That's what it's called, ghost plane. Everybody, it was manual, so everybody's
silent on
in
the
there.
inside and kept on flying at 34,000 feet in the sky on autopilot. For 2 hours, the plane would continuously fly in a circle above Athens. A massive aircraft, full of unconscious souls, drifting with no one in command. Fighter jets scrambled to intercept it, peering into
Oh,
the cockpit.
I thought it was flying right into the jet, but the jet was trying to intercept it. Oh, I was about to say, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Only to see the captain's chair empty and the co-pilot slumped lifelessly over the controls. Meanwhile, oxygen masks dangled uselessly from the ceiling. But then,
Oh, God.
one man moved. Flight attendant Andreas Prodromou had regained partial consciousness thanks to a portable oxygen supply. In a desperate final act, he entered the cockpit and tried to save the aircraft. Witnesses believe he attempted to steer it away from Athens, sparing the city from catastrophe. At 12:04, nearly 3 hours after takeoff, the plane eventually ran out of fuel. Despite the man's efforts to try to land it properly away from the city, the Boeing plunged into a hillside near Grammatico in Greece, leaving nobody on board to survive its crash. Investigators concluded it was a costly mix of human error and mechanical oversight. A simple switch left in the wrong position, a mistake no one caught in time. Although devastating, the lives on the plane are still remembered till this day.
God
Especially
damn,
the
bro.
heroic man who was able to veer the plane away from Athens City and stop it from
Yeah,
crashing on
that would have
hundreds
been
of
like triple the
unsuspecting
casualties too.
Oh, the humanity. On May 6th, 1937, a luxurious German passenger airship marketed as the peak of elegance and wealth attempted to dock
Oh. I think we see it.
at the Lakehurst Naval Air Station in New Jersey after a transatlantic flight. Dozens of spectators gathered to watch the massive Zeppelin. It was 804 feet long, which is nearly twice the length of a Boeing 747. It also weighed nearly 500,000 pounds. But
God dang. How that thing flying?
it only carried 97 people. The beautiful airship began to descend from the clouds, preparing itself to land. Then, without warning, disaster struck. You see, the ship was maneuvering during a thunderstorm and garnered a static electric charge within its metal frame. Normally, this wouldn't be too much of an issue if the ship was using helium, as it was quite literally designed to use it. But for political reasons in 1937, the United States refused to export helium to Germany, and so individuals would go on to fill the airship with hydrogen instead.
Oh. GG's.
An extremely flammable gas. Even though the Germans knew this was very dangerous, they did it anyway. And so, as the Hindenburg hovered above the mooring mast, it dropped its landing ropes, which is theorized to have created a spark. In a flash, gigantic flames erupted near the tail of the ship, and within seconds, the entire airship was engulfed in fire, while it was still flying in the sky. The hydrogen gas keeping the Zeppelin afloat ignited into a breathing inferno, turning the proud airship into a falling torch as it floated 200 feet off the ground. People inside struggled for survival as the interior became an oven of smoke and flames. Many people and others collapsed from smoke inhalation. Ultimately, passengers became faced with the horrifying reality that their only escape from the ship was to jump 200 feet to the ground. People leapt from the burning craft as it collapsed to the ground in just 34 seconds.
Yeah. I can't show the actual video, so he got to use the Battlefield gameplay to
The screams
showcase
of passengers became mixed with the roar of fire.
And you know what? That's probably accurate too. That's probably super accurate.
Terrifying enough, 36 people would perish.
But it pretty much looked like this, yeah.
What really made this tragedy unforgettable was the live radio broadcast. Remember that this was going on in 1937? Many people never saw or even heard of things like this, especially on radio. Reporter Herbert Morrison, who was covering the landing, was overcome with horror as he cried out words that would echo through history.
All the humanity and all the passengers screaming around it. I don't do it. I can't talk to people.
Oh, the humanity. A phrase that became synonymous with the disaster, leaving many others to shout the same thing whenever witnessing another tragedy unfold. The Hindenburg is a haunting reminder of how quickly human ambition can be consumed by flame and political strife. In terms of recent politics in the US, a lot has been going on. But don't let violence scare you, and don't let strife.
Yeah, it's wow, yeah. Yeah.
Love your neighbor as you would love yourself, and treat others how you wish to be treated. Keep your head up always,
Facts.
and as usual, have a happy day.
Talking head with the motivational speeches as always. Alright, y'all, that's another video right there. Hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you like, subscribe. Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/YoZevo. It's going to be in the description down below. Till then, I'm going to see you guys later. I'm out.